Robert Lowell. Pulitzer Prize winning poet Robert Rale Spence Lowell was born on March 1, 1917, in Boston, Massachusetts. He was an American poet noted for his complex autobiographical poetry. He was born to United States Navy Commander Robert Rale Spence Lowell III and Charlotte Winslow. The Lowells were a Boston Brahmin family. As a teenager, Lowell's peers gave him the nickname Carl. He would later reference the nickname in his poem Caligula, first published in his book For the Union Dead. He received his high school education at St. Mark's School, Massachusetts. There he met Richard Eberhard and decided to become a poet. Later he attended Harvard College for 2 years. As a fresher in Harvard, he visited Robert Frost in Cambridge and asked for feedback on a long poem he had written to the Crusades. He went south to the Tennessee, home of poet Allen Tate, who proved to be an important influence on the young writer. But while he was a student at Harvard in 1957, he had a fight with his father, a rebellion that had serious consequences for his life and his poetry. Later, he attended Kenyon College and graduated in classics in 1940. He worked on a master's degree in English literature at Louisiana State University and taught introductory courses in English for 1 year before the US entered World War II. Lowell married the novelist and short story writer Jean Stafford in 1940, which was a tumultuous one. Later, he married the writer Elizabeth Hadwick. Their marriage and divorce were captured in his books For Lucy and Harriet and The Dolphin. After 23 years, he married Caroline Blackwood. Lowell was hospitalized many times throughout his adult life due to bipolar disorder. It also provided the subject for some of his influential poetry, as in his book Life Studies. He was died in 1977 and buried in Stark Cemetery, New Hampshire. Lowell's first book of poems, Land of Unlikeness, in 1944, is highly influenced by his conversion to Catholicism. He was awarded Pulitzer Prize in 1947 for his next book, Lord Very's Castle. Soon after, he was served as the consultant in poetry to the Library of Congress from 1947 to 1948. In 1951, he published The Miles of the Kavanaughs, which centered on its epic title poem and failed to receive the high praise. Later, he changed his stylistic direction with his next book of verse, Life Studies, in 1959, which won the National Book Award for Poetry in 1960 and became the most influential book that he would ever publish. It marked a turning point in his career and for American poetry in general. It was followed by Imitation in 1961, a volume of loose translations of poems by classical and modern European poets. Lowell's next book of original verse, For the Union Dead in 1964, was widely praised, particularly for its title poem, which invoked Allen Tate's Ode to the Confederate Dead. In 1964, he wrote three one-act plays, Endicott the Red Cross, My Kinsman Major Molinex, and Benito Sereno, that were meant to be performed together as a trilogy titled The Old Glory. In 1967, he published Near the Ocean, a book of poems. With this volume, he returned to writing more formal metered verse. In 1973, he published three books of sonnets, History, For Lucy and Harriet, and The Dolphin, which won the 1974 Pulitzer Prize. It included poems about his daughter, his ex-wife, and his new wife, Caroline Blackwood, whom he had affectionately nicknamed Dolphin. He published his last volume of poetry, Day by Day, in 1977, the year of his death. His posthumous publications are A Moment in American Poetry in 1987 by his longtime editor Robert Girox. Lowell's collected poems in 2003, edited by Frank and David Givander. The Letters of Robert Lowell in 2003, edited by Saskia Hamilton.